Do you know real world asset tokenization has the market cap of 24 billion now? But the Web3 marketing agencies are still using spreadsheet to track their analytics. Hello, I am Mani Malarvanan. In this video, we will look into what Web3 marketing agencies can do to improve their tracking and analytics to track the real world asset tokenization that has been rapidly progressing in the last couple of years. We will explore what are the different methodologies and tools we can use to track so that we can able to completely understand what users wants to do in this asset tokenization. In the raw numbers, real world asset tokenization has now 24 billion as of February 2026. In the last couple of years, it has been growing drastically. From 2025 to 2026, it has grown to 266%. So, and in the future, it is going to continue to grow because, as you all know, there are many assets are there all over the world. And once the tokenization process started, nobody's can stop it. It's going to keep growing. And within the US treasuries, from 2025 to 2026, the market cap is close to 8 billion. And then in the overall Web3 market cap, the 2026 to 2034, the entire asset tokenization market is going to capture 50% of the blockchain transactions that is going to happen in the next 5, 10, 15 years. From the marketing agency's point of view, you need to understand what tools you need to use, what Web 2 and Web 3 frameworks you can able to use so that you can able to track overall progression of users coming from the decentralized application or website and then ultimately purchasing these tokens. They might be a retail user or they may be an institutional user. Irrespective of the type of the customer you are going to serve, you need to understand the entire flow so that you can clearly create the attribution for your customers. So there are multiple differences you need to understand so that you can able to clearly track the real world asset swap tokenization process. The first thing is institutional audience. See, these audiences are not retail customers. These are all large corporations, large financial agencies, banks, multi-billion dollar banks. They are getting into the real world asset tokenization business and they are started creating their own tokens so that they can able to attract retail customers. If you want to serve them, you need to understand that entire process. And this process is not like purchasing a NFT token in a blockchain. It is a longer process. Each and every customer, you need to understand what process they are taking, what are all the different steps they are going through to understand, and what are all the different compliance they need to follow so that they can able to completely finish the transaction from the starting to end. So from the marketing agency's point of view, you need to understand the first touch point, how the institution came to know about that particular asset tokenization and what tools they are using, what platform they are using. Are they going to use Ethereum or Solana? There are multiple different blockchains out there. Which one they are going to use? And also understand which country they are operating from. Are they based in US, UK? You need to understand all those so that you can use proper tools and technologies to understand the data that are flowing into the blockchain that are coming from your website and ultimately flowing into the blockchain. Collect those data, both the Web 2 data and Web 3 data, to create a clean attribution funnel. And that can be used to satisfy your customers from the marketing agency's point of view. Because, see, from the marketing agency's point of view, you may have the protocol vendor protocol companies, either Solana or Ethereum, they may come to you and say that I want to track the entire flow. If you do not have the tools, you will end up using Excel sheets or Google Sheets to collect the data manually, copying it, and going through the process of understanding the entire data flow. So you need to understand all these steps in the process so that you can identify the overall flow and ultimately come up with the attribution model for the success. So first you need to understand the difference between the institutional versus retail funnels. See, the institution funnel is different than the retail funnel. In the institution funnel point of view, the large corporations, what they do is they go to a conference, they understand the process, and then they go to their website. The analyst, multiple analysts working for that institution, they may go through, download the white paper, understand the overall process, and they may set up a demo with the customer, with your customers to understand the overall process, go through the legal due diligence, and finally committing for the transaction. So it may take months, sometimes multiple months to finalize the deal because these are all large transaction. It's not a $100 or $1,000 transaction. It is like a multi-million in sometimes $1 billion transactions. So it is going to take a lot of effort from the institutions to commit to the transaction. So from the Web3 marketing agency's point of view, you need to understand all the touch points so that you can clearly pinpoint where the institutions are in the touch points and what you can do to make them to final decision. Say, for example, if they are downloading multiple white papers from the website for your customer's website, then you need to know what you can able to tell to your customers how many different white papers are downloaded by the institution and if they need any help understanding the white paper so that they can understand the overall process. They may have questions. Instead of waiting for them to call you, to call your customers, you can identify and you can tell your customers, hey, there are multiple white papers have been downloaded by this particular company, particular bank, particular financial institution, and you may want to check with them to see what is going on if they need more help. So they can able to set up meetings. So that is the institutional funnel that you need to build it and you need to understand. And then in the retail funnel, anybody with $1,000, they may want to purchase a token for the real world asset tokenization process. For that, it is a different process. They're not going to wait a couple of months to enter the process. So they will go to the social media platform, influencer, or their group may decide to purchase multiple tokens for a particular asset tokenization. So in that case, you need to understand when it is happening, what process the retail customers are there so that you can able to send educational content to educate the entire group within the social media and ultimately make them the purchase the first investment. So these are much shorter than the institutional funnel. For this also, you need to understand Web2 data, Web3 data, collect those data, and ultimately come up with a analytical platform so that you can able to clearly pinpoint where your customers are in purchasing the real world asset tokenization process. Within the AnalyticKit, we have a platform. You can check our AnalyticKit website, go to analytickit.com and read about it. And if you want to use it, you can use how well the Web2 data and Web3 data has been collected, and you can able to understand the attribution model from the starting to end, irrespective of the type of customers you are going to serve. Certain key metrics you need to understand for the real world asset tokenization for the marketing teams so that you can able to use it to clearly understand where the customers are in their journey. See the content to know your customer rate. Once you publish an article, the customers are coming in and learning about the your token process, and then they may leave. They may not do anything, or they may be interested in knowing more about that your customers so that they can able to decide if they want to purchase the token or not. So for that, you need to know from the content to know your customer rate. If they just download the content and if they just read without registering or subscribing to the newsletter or logging into registering into the website or decentralized application, that's the first step. How many people read the content and how many people are logging, registering into the website, registering into the decentralized application. That is a one measure you need to understand. And then KYC to the investment rate. How many people registered and how many people are decided to purchase, or how many people just logged in and they didn't do anything. Or they may want to have a more information about a particular process, or they don't know what to do, because all these are challenging from the marketing agency's point of view to understand what is going on. So for that, KYC to investment rate is critical. And then the time to first investment rate, how long it takes for them. The first time they logged into the website, and how many days it took for them to commit the transaction in a blockchain. So it could be 30 days, it could be 60 days, or it could be 90 days. So you need to understand that. And then the multi-touch attribution score. So once you have the customer coming in the web 2, and then you have customers coming in web 3, committing a transaction, you need to collect those data points so that you can able to come up with a multi-touch attribution score for the particular customer. So each customer is going to behave differently, or the group of customers may do it differently. Customers coming from Mexico may do it differently because of the legal laws in their country. Then the customers coming from US may act differently. So you need to understand the group of customers so that you can able to calculate the multi-touch attribution score to create the appropriate RWA funnels. And then the reallocation rate. So this is basically the percentage of investors who can able to increase their position after the initial purchase. Say they purchased 100 tokens after 2 months, and then how long it took for them to increase from 100 to 150 or 150 to 200, how long it takes, you need to understand that. So by collecting all these data points, you can able to clearly calculate how well the asset tokenization process is going to go, and that is going to help your customers to understand what they need to do to increase the institutional institutional customers and also the retail customers. So for all those, without measurement, without data, you cannot do, or you have to collect this data manually, put it into the Excel sheet, and you need to understand it. So if you have a platform for all those, then you can able to ask questions. Now with the AI, you can able to ask questions and get the response from the AI agencies, what you are working on. So RWA analytics, the stack capabilities, these are all some of the stack capabilities you need to see if we are getting into an analytical platform that is going to support RWA analytics. On-chain investment tracking. You need to have a mechanism to collect data from the on-chain. The on-chain could be Solana, Binance, Ethereum, whatever your customers are interested. So you need to have the on-chain investment. And then institutional account modeling. You need to understand what are all the different customers from the institution side coming into your website or decentralized application. That will be the starting point. So that considered as a web 2 data. And then understand that data and use it to understand the complaints funnel tracking. If first once they come to your website, they can able to download the white paper and they understand what the entire process is. So that would be the first time Your customers know your customer, what exactly the company is planning to do, and what exactly the asset tokenization process, which blockchain they are using, all those information will be available. That is going to help them to understand what complaints they need to make. Sometimes the complaints takes much longer than what you expect. So you need to make sure that you understand those and help the customers so that they can able to fully understand the scope what they are getting into. So the long the window, and it's going to take more complex for the marketing agencies to understand. So without data, that's not possible. You cannot do what is going on. So you need to wait from the institutional customers calling you your customer, and then their customers can able to help them. So from the Web3 marketing agency's point of view, you are sitting between your customers that you are working on the marketing campaign, those who are selling the asset tokenization process, and then the retail customers and the institutional customers, those who are going to use the blockchain to perform the transaction. So you need to track all those so that you can able to completely build the RWA analytical stacks to satisfy your customers. See, the four stack capabilities, the long window Web2 attribution. This is different than the NFT analytics. NFTs, it's going to take a simple click to purchase, and the cost is going to be $10, $100, $200, something like that. But these tokenization are going to be much longer process. So you need to understand the Web2 attribution, and somebody is coming into your website and logging in, they're not doing anything. So that is the Web2 attribution. You need to understand what exactly is going on, how many customers are came in, which country they came in, and what exactly they did on your website. So that is a one set of tracking metrics you need to collect. And then the complaints funnel tracking. If you have a long complaints process, what are all the different steps they need to do? Say, for example, they may need to submit their personal ID to for verification, or it could be another much complex complaint process they need to process. You need to model all those and integrate into your system so that you can understand what step they are in the complaints funnel tracking. For example, if it is a really complex complaints process, they may stop after performing step one and step two. So you need to understand how many users are coming in, how many users are in step two. If they are four-step process, if they are in the middle, then you need to help them so that they can complete step three and step four and complete the complaints processing so that they can able to purchase the tokens. And then the on-chain investment tracking, and you have smart contracts your customers are deployed, and you need to find out how well the smart contracts are performing, that the deposits are increasing or it is saying same, and how much yield they are getting based on the deposits. You need to track all those and help the customer, your customer, from the marketing agency's point of view so that they know what is going on their on-chain. And then institutional account modeling. So this is the complex process. It's not the retail customers we are talking about. The institutional customers are much longer process. For that, you need to understand the Web2 data, and also you need to go beyond Web2 and use the wallet transaction and see what is going on within the institution, how many users they are supporting. They may be supporting large number of customers. They have usually the large institutions, they have a multi-billion dollar asset tokenization process you want to manage for their customers. So if you need to understand the entire process, you need to understand the institution, what steps they are going through, so that you can able to use the tools and technologies from the marketing agency's point of view. So 24 billion is just the starting point. Entire world, it's a multi-trillion dollar assets are there. the assets could be a real estate asset, whatever may be the asset they want to tokenize. So one way or the other, all those assets are going to be tokenized and it's going to be managed within the blockchain. And the industry, the technologies, everything is going towards that. There are multiple large corporations in US. They are already getting into this game. And it is not a process that is going to take more time. It's already started. One way or the other, all the real estate, all the assets are going to get tokenized. So from the Web3 marketing agency point of view, or from the marketing point of view, even if you are a regular marketing company, not a Web3 focused marketing company, you want to get into this game and you want to have a tools and technologies build so that you can able to support the customer. So with the AI, with the agentic technologies, everything is going to be online, everything is going to be tokenized. So if your agent want to purchase a RWA token, then you need to support that. And one way or the other, there will be billions and billions of agents are going to be created. I may have a personal agent and everybody will have their own agent doing work on their behalf for the personal agent. So for all those, to make it work, you need to build the proper infrastructure from the marketing agency's point of view so that you will be ready when the market is ready. And if you wait, your competing marketing companies are getting into this and they are already started using it. So you better start now rather than waiting for some time to start the process. Understand it. There are multiple tools are there and we have videos in this channel. If you need more information about asset tokenization, if you need more information about what rules, what tools are there, you can able to see it. And will be, if there is any questions, we'll be happy to help you to understand the process. And go to our website analytickit.com. We have a lot of articles and blogs to make you understand. This entire website is created specifically for the marketing companies to understand what is going on in the Web3 world and what they can do to transition from Web2 to Web3. And if you want to use our platform, go to app.analyticKit.com and you can register and start using it. And you can understand the Web2 flow and Web3 flow altogether. If you have any questions, please let us know. If you like this video, please subscribe this channel and help us to grow. Thank you. Bye.